I'm Emily Horler, and I'm here with an iconic poet who shared the stage with the likes of Joy Division and the Sex Pistols, John Cooper Clarke. Thank you for talking to us this
Pleasure,
evening.
Emily.
So you've just performed at the Warwick Arts Centre tonight as part of your ongoing tour. Has there been a venue that's particularly stood out for you recently?
Last year I did the London Palladium, Sunday night at the London Palladium. That sold out. I'm doing the Albert Hall the day after tomorrow, and so I've done quite a few memorable places. Just the Port Merion Festival, for any people out there that remember the cult TV series The Prisoner. That's where it was filmed, in a place in Wales. It was like built-in emulation of Portofino in Italy. You must know about that, Port Merion. Well, there's a festival there every year, and I was at that. So yeah, quite a few memorable occasions. The launch of the Clash's new gigantic box set. All the kind of, all the set pieces, that's where you'll find Dr. Clarke.
So do you feel that the nature of your work means that you're more of a cult icon rather than a commercialised act?
It's always been my intention to, as a professional, obviously I rely on this in order to put food into my child's mouth. So I do seek great wealth, and I have to stop messing about now at my age. But so far, great wealth has evaded me.
On the same kind of thread as that then, like some of your poetry alludes to commoditisation and materialisation of human existence. Do you feel that your poetry has become a commodity in any way?
It's interesting you should bring that sort of commodification angle up, because my most successful poem at the moment is an old one called I Wanna Be Yours, which has been made famous on the AM album by the great Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah.
And the mighty pen of Alex Turner has converted this poem of mine into a heartfelt love song, and I couldn't be more happy. I couldn't be more pleased with the way he's done it. It's unbelievable, and it's a humbling experience to hear what he's done with it. And that's just the whole leitmotif of the poem, is that I'm reducing myself to the level of a commodity for the greater happiness of the object of my desire. And let me be your vacuum cleaner. Well, I'll do the number.
Yeah.
I'll do the number, that will illustrate this. And I don't know whether this answers your question about commodification or anything. But in this case, this is a case where commodification is a good thing. Right. So it goes like this, and it's called I Want to Be Yours. And if you want to hear a far more melodic and considered version of this poem, then I would refer you to the album AM, the latest chart-topping album by the Arctic Monkeys. And the number goes like this. And this was on the GCSE syllabus.
Yeah, I've got the question paper here.
Which is how Alex got into my stuff in the first place. So it's been a kind of circuitous route to the top of the album charts in the most organic way imaginable. So here it is, here's my version, and it's called I Want to Be Yours. Which is, by the way, digressing again, it was already the wedding favourite of the 21st century, this little piece. It is to 21st century weddings what Always Look on the Bright Side of Life by Eric Idle is to humanist funerals. So it goes like this: I want to be yours. Let me be your vacuum cleaner, breathing in your dust. Let me be your Morris Marina, I will never rust. If you like your coffee hot, let me be your coffee pot. You call the shots, I want to be yours. Let me be your raincoat for those frequent rainy days. Let me be that dream boat when you want to sail away. Let me be your teddy bear. Take me with you anywhere. I don't care. I want to be yours. Let me be your electric meter, I will never run out. Let me be the electric heater, you get pneumonia without. Let me be your setting lotion, grip your skull with deep devotion. Deep as the deep Atlantic Ocean, that's how deep is my devotion. Deep, 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 deep. I don't want to be hers, I want to be yours. So that's the way I do it. For me it's a poem. For Alex, it's a song, because Alex is a singer. You know, he's got to do it his way, and he's a singer.
So how did the collaboration basic collaboration come about with?
It wasn't in any way a collaboration, really. It was. I wasn't involved in their recording process in any way. But me and Alex have been in each other's faces ever since they first started. Actually, I'm very happy to say. You know, they're a marvellous bunch of guys. And I kind of met the Arctic Monkeys about a fortnight before they went viral. You know what I mean? Yes. So I'm really glad I was nice to them. No, it's not hard to be nice to the Arctic Monkeys, believe me. They're a wonderful bunch of guys. And they got that rock and roll glamour that's so rare in today's pop
that's
world.
true.
In today's pop world, you know, they dress good, you know, they consider every aspect of their career, and they're not in anybody's pocket, you know, they're not, you know, they're calling their own shots, and ain't that what punk rock's all about?
Are there any other modern lyricists apart from Alex?
I love Plan B, I love Ben Drew, and I love the Alabama Three, I like Jack White. You know, there's a few people I like, you know. But I'm pretty old school, you know, I'm a very old person. Is
poetry the sort of main thing that makes you happy, or is there other things that make you happy, and what makes you angry, and how does this influence your poems?
No, well, everything. I wouldn't say angry.
Or more?
Uncomprehending.
Yes.
Leading to anger. And impotent rage. I think we're talking about impotent rage here, you know, which is my default setting. And the only thing that really gets me out of it is work.
Now that you're Q Magazine's Poet Laureate and have received a Doctorate of Arts for bringing poetry to non-traditional audiences for over 3 decades, are you feeling excited and encouraged with this connection with academia?
Oh yeah, well overdue, I think. You know, I'm so jealous about everybody I know, you know, has got, you know, they're either a professor, this, you know, PhD, that, oh yeah, I've had a bug up my ass for years about not having any titles. And doctor, that's the one I've always wanted, being a medical guy. You know, obviously I've always wanted to have doctor in front of me.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, it entitles me to the odd emergency tracheotomy.
Yes, always a plus.
Who better than me? Who better than me? You know, you can do it with a bit viral.
No.
In an emergency.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm a bit hesitant about that if I was on the table.
You know, it's the best implement for the job.
A biro.
You've got the pointed end to make the entry wounds.
Should we demonstrate it, John?
And then, and then you've got the plastic casing to create an airway into the subtracheal area of the windpipe, where, you know, beyond where the problem is.
Well, it's good to know you're prepared for all.
I'm prepared for the worst.
Yeah. Being a recognised seminal influence on punk, do you think you're part of a new wave? And who do you associate with now? Who do you think you influence or would like to influence now?
Well, me and 2 other guys, Mr. Mike Garrett and Luke Wright, you know, are 3 poets that we've been filling up huge auditoria. The venues are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So there's something there in poetry that people like, you know what I mean? Everybody's written a poem. Everybody in the world has written a poem at some time. Not everybody in the world's painted a picture. Not everybody in the world can play a musical instrument. And certainly not everybody in the world can dance. But writing a poem, everybody's give it a go. So I think people are always interested when somebody gives it a go and is very good at it. Look at the success of Pam Hayes now. She's on thingy all this week. What's it? Countdown. She's on Countdown every day this week. You know, she got a book to plug. Who can blame her? You know. But there you are. You see. You know, she was a great source of inspiration for me. I tell you. You know, when I was starting doing what I do, punk rock or not punk rock. On mainstream television at prime time was this program called Opportunity Knocks, presented by Huey Green, and week after week, month after month, Pam Ayres was cleaning up. She was back week after week, and the punters loved her. I took great encouragement from this, you know.
So obviously it's important to encourage the youth of today to express themselves.
It's never going to be a mass thing.
No,
it's never going to fill up any arenas.
I mean, you do a pretty good job, what you said.
It's too intimate for that.
Yes.
It's too intimate. You couldn't write a stadium poem. You know, there's no such animal. No, but you know, like Sinatra ain't Mario Lanza. That's how I compare it, you know. Poetry is Sinatra. You know, your stadium acts, that's Mario Lanza. It's a universal way. It's still singing. But, you know, it's trying to reach a guy 5 miles away. You know what I mean? That's why they invented the microphone, so things could get intimate. And I think poetry belongs in that kind of intimate microphone space. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the Albert Hall you said you're playing in days.
Well, that's big, but it is in a building.
Yes.
It is in a building. It's not a stadium. You can make that intimate. There is one guy, though. There is one guy and one guy only that can make Glastonbury look like a club gig.
Who's that?
And that's Alex Turner. Last year. He made that thing. It was a personal connection to every one of them. How many thousand of people there? Unbelievable. Yeah. You see him on telly, the artists? Yeah. Unbelievable. He turned it into a club gig and made it look easy. Now that's success. That's anybody can. Is everybody? Oh, I mean, Craig, I hate all those things.
No, I know
Stadium rock. It's an aberration, isn't it? You know. Unbelievable. Elvis never did no stadiums.
Yeah. Your poetry is now studied in schools and universities, so you're past the establishment which you once opposed. Is that not a bit removed from where you started out?
Say again.
Because your poetry now is sort of part of the establishment and like the institution of education, it's kind of a bit removed from where you once started out being opposed to that sort of thing.
Well, that's an interesting. I never really thought of that. I don't think I'm in any way establishment. You know,
no, I know that.
There was a thing on the other day I noticed, you know, doctor or no doctor. There was something on the other day with Caroline Duffy and Benjamin Zephaniah and Andrew Motion. Every poet you can think of except me was meeting Prince Charles. You see the significance of this?
No, I do.
Oh no, don't ask him. No, we'll make sure, ask all the modern poets, you know, and me who made it safe for those people to work. I'm the only one that ain't invited. No, so don't be forgiving me, no, I ain't just because I'm on a school syllabus, don't make me establishment. And you see what they're teaching people in schools these days. Well, I've got a daughter, I know what sort of thing they do in lessons. I don't think that makes you establishment.
No.
If only it did. No, there's no way I feel as that. I had to go to Salford where the crime rate is through the roof to get a doctorate. You know what I mean? They need all the doctors they can get in Salford.
So, do you find it difficult when obviously these are quite sober topics to inject humour into them?
Into what?
Like the topics of sort of ageing and mortality in your poetry.
Well, if I'm not entitled, who is?
That's good.
Do you know what I mean? It affects me. I'm that catchment area. You know what I mean? Sort of heading for it anyway. So if I'm not entitled, who is? But I think it's more of a thing. I see that poem as more of a kind of thing. Kind of it's you know, I'm very concerned. What concerns me more than growing old is the fashion for euthanasia. I find that more worrying than the inevitable passage of time, which is not. I can't do anything about that. But I think there's an indecent enthusiasm for euthanasia in society at the moment, and that does worry me.
Yeah.
Not for me personally. I mean, my relatives, touch wood, my relatives don't want me to die.
Surely
But I read the papers, and not everybody's as lucky as I am.
Going from sort of one other end of the scale, your poem "Pity the Plight of Young Fellows" and
Pity the Plight of Young Fellows. Yeah, I wrote that for the film Ill Manners, directed and written by the aforementioned Ben Drew, aka Plan B. Yeah, that's a film. You know, you've got to see it, but you wouldn't want to see it a second time.
Right.
But it's a terrific film. You seen it?
No, I haven't. I'm going to though.
It's a fabulous picture. But again, you'd have to be sick if you wouldn't see it. And I actually have seen it 4 times.
4 times?
But that's because I had to go to the various premieres.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? But Christ, it wasn't. But it's a great film. Having said that, it's expertly done. You wouldn't, you know, it's amazing. Better than most British films.
Off the back of that poem, so what are your thoughts on the experience of youth in 21st century Britain today?
Well, kind of, I don't know. I don't live in that world. No idea. No idea, but it was no better when I was a kid. That's all I'm saying. You know, they ain't got it any worse than I ever did. I can guarantee that. You know, you see people on telly moaning now about in front of a 28-inch TV screen smoking a cigarette, you know what I mean? And we wouldn't know 28-inch TV set, you know, when I was their age. You know, it was never any good for teenagers. Show me a happy teenager, I'll give you £1,000. You know, when are they ever happy, teenagers? You know, I wasn't happy as a teenager. There's no reason why teenagers should suddenly be happy. What's happened that would make teenagers suddenly happy? Can you tell me?
No.
I don't think they got it bad.
No.
You know, all right, they can't get jobs. We didn't want jobs, but we were always being sent after them. To us, that was as much a pain in the as not being here, as going after them and not getting them. You know?
Yeah, because you kind of have, I think today quite a lot of teenagers do seem to be expressing themselves through poetry, which is quite interesting.
Well, it's the most accessible medium there is, you know, get a piece of paper and a pen. And even if you're illiterate, get a dictaphone. There is no barrier to composing poetry, let's say. There is no barrier. Nothing could stop you writing poetry. Even in the most totalitarian regime, you could still write a poem. I don't care what anybody says, it's the most, if you made it any more accessible, it'd be somebody else writing it for you.
Do you have a favourite piece of, sort of not of your own work, a piece of art or literature?
Vitai Lampada by Sir Henry Newbolts. This is the kind of thing we had to learn at school. Off by heart, Michael Gove style. The sand of the desert is sodden red, red with the wreck of a square that broke. The Gatlings jammed and the colonel's dead and the regiment blind with dust and smoke. The river of death has brimmed its banks, England's far and honour a name. But the voice of a schoolboy rallies the ranks. Play up, and play the game.
That's a nice one, I like that.
Sir Henry Newbolt, Vitai Lampada.
So which of your poems is your favourite?
Chicken Town, and the last one I wrote.
Which is?
In the ranks of the Heathen saints.
Could you possibly recite?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah. No, I'd love to. I'm going to do it all. You have to do it all.
Thank you.
It's got to be all of it, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be all of it.
Thing,
the ranks of the Heathen saints. Yeah, here we go. They don't go to hell no more, they're locked inside a bar with the 1970s Space Invaders just to make it jar. Forever, that's a long time, and it smells like yellow paint. short on courtesy, long on crime in the ranks of the heathen saints. The atheist archbishop weeps life is just a trap, while gazing into the inky deeps of his Chateau Neuf du Pape. Jesus must be blowing chunks, it's life without constraints for the foul-mouthed, philandering drunks in the ranks of the heathen saints. God's no better than you are, you might as well go wrong, all this moral hoo-ha's been going on too long. Jesus must be doing his nut, they say he even faints, but you've got to keep your mouth shut in the ranks of the heathen saints. Over the top, beyond the border, in the kind of clothes a child would order, like an out-of-control, compulsive hoarder, and they don't do restraints. It's the client base of Dr. Roger Corder, the ranks of the heathen saints. They don't know what work is for, they think it's done by elves, and without the oppressive rule of law, they'll sort things out themselves. Any kind of original sin now seems quaintly quaint. These shifting values underpin the ranks of the heathen saints. Anything that isn't perfect isn't any good, and things are getting ugly just like they said they would. Still, government intervention might eradicate the taints of any kind intention in the ranks of the heathen saints. Live with it or top yourself, whichever gets your vote. Just do his grace a favour and leave him out of the suicide note. Jesus doesn't like it, Jim. In fact, he's had complaints. But hey, who invited him to the ranks of the heathen saints?
So, to finish up, on that wonderful note, what exciting things have you got coming up, and what's happening around us that we can expect to be transferred to rhyme in the near future?
Happening around, that's a good question. I won't know till it happens in answer to that question. You know, it's a kind of momentarily thing, and, you know, it's the kind of thing that's, you know, but it's all normal stuff you've seen already. I ain't going to shock you with nothing kind of that you don't know about. But it's just that, would it be true to say, Mike, it ain't let we look at anything different from anybody else if you're a poet, but you just have to look at it for longer than a healthy person would. And the next place we're playing is, you know, we're doing Shepherd's Bush Theatre, home of Wogan. And me and Greenie have got us something to do with punk rock at the Screen on the Green this Sunday, chaired by Jonathan Ross. Me, Mike, Gary and Luke Wright are going to be doing Albert Hall on Tuesday, and we're also doing Margate. I'm looking forward to that because it's the one British holiday resort that I've never visited. And I love British, I love holiday resorts. It's also the birthplace of my pal Tracy Emin.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, so that'll be a good night.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. That was John.
My pleasure.
John Cooper Clarke following
Emily,
his.
thank you so very much.
John Cooper Clarke following his performance at the Warwick Arts Centre.
Where were you?
Thank you so much.